somewhere taking a pee. What will my story be? This one better be good. Should I tell her I had a confrontation with Robin Hood? The early she told me, I'll be waiting for you, honey. I'll make something special for you. Now how am I gonna rent it? I can't afford to live with footsteps to it's waiting, it's wrapped up in love. I'm tired, I'm sleeping, I'm taking the trouble is waiting, it's wrapped up in love. I'm so
Barely, barely. Just into Paris. The umpires in the middle, waiting to have a signal coming back from the official score with the Charles today.
That's as big as it could get. That's what I told him yesterday. This is too small as a program. This is way too small.
So we are.
This card don't have an extension. You can have a card. Can it go into it? Well, the first delivery has been struck down the grounds for 4. Switch batting is underway. So the Southeast region would have won the toss and elected to take first knock, and they offer on a flyer. Brilliant sunshine, and it goes again, high and hard, one bounce, same direction. This time it was a lofted shot, and the batsman is getting the desired result that he himself and his team would desire. So it looks like a man in form. The ball is coming out of the middle. We're in the power play for the first 6 overs, where no more than 2 men can be out of that circle. And he goes again, this time inside out, all the way for 6. Beautiful shot. And this man seems as if he came out and he's taking some revenge on something, but for whatever reason, he's putting the will to that leather. And I can tell you, my word, Eddie, you've got to come in on this one.
Yes, his number is 11. Okay.
So just on the fingertips of the man at the first slip region. So Timothy Surge Valley fishing outside the line of the off stump after some three aggressive shots really. 2 4s and a 6. Probably a count. Playing a dab shot outside the line of the off stump. So the captain decided to open the innings along with Timothy Surge Valley. And have a substitution this early in the game into the first over, being bowled by the Her from the southern end. This one is struck away out towards mid-wicket. This one will go over 4. There's absolutely no doubt about that. The signal comes in now from umpire Ninhard out of Jamaica, and umpire Danny Khan is the other umpire in the square leg region. So good going between these two, opening pair for the Southeast region. Jaskaran and Timothy Surge Valley. So Jaskaran, he's on 4, and Timothy Surge Valley is on 14. And we're watching Varikar. And Dave Varikar from the commentary box, and begins to move in right arm over the wicket. Goes to Jaskaran, just stretching forward and pushed into the long off region. Man comes out the boundary, he picks up and kind of prevents the batsman from getting a single. So the over comes to an end, and at the end of the very first over, we some 25, 20, according to my score, 20 without loss either. So we're into day number 2 of this Kings tournament. Tomorrow, of course, scheduled to be the final day. Looking for a large crowd from up the Central Broad Regional Park. And if there is any indication of who is to come, see Zishan Koreshi wearing the number 4 jersey, all padded up and ready to go, Ivor.
Yes, indeed, Eddie, and it's a beautiful day here at the Central Broad Regional Park, and we are asking all who is in the vicinity of Sunrise Boulevard West and the 441, we're asking your indulgence to come on over to the park. To get into the grounds for the cricket, it is free $99, but there's a coverage for the park itself, which is just $1.50, $1.50 will get you and your car into the park.
Jaskaran is playing that out into the mid-off position. Man with the number 12 jersey. He's coming across and feeling, and the batsman can get no run. So right outside line of the off stump, and Jaskaran was onto the back foot early and slapped it down towards deep cover. The man coming around from the long off position, he picks up. Rifles returning, but it wasn't a good throw by any stretch of the imagination, and the batters were able to come back for run number 2. So this is some 22 without loss. Ridal continues on the far end. So wide delivery into the offside, into a squarish mid-off. Ball, of course, played for the US Army 16. Ridal continues on the far end pass. Umpire Danny Khan just about now delivers ball to It's high hard. This will go in for 6. The signal comes in from umpire Danny Khan. So delivery that was pitched up. Perhaps too much up. And just giving it the treatment that was ordered. And so it is some 28 it is without loss. Winning the toss and decide to take first strike. It is early days yet, so the second inning in progress. And from the Fowler, who is, continues. So the lineup be awesome back to the ball. So it's a little bit of a volleyball type of cricket. Came off the stretch hand of the ball line out towards the deep mid-off area. And the batsman was able to complete a single. Brings Timothy Surge batting to strike. 29 it is without loss, and we into the second over. 1.5 overs gone. Over cover. And it will run away for 4. So Surge Balianga seems to be a man on the mission. The over comes to an end, and at the end of over number 2, after winning the toss, decided to bat first. These are some 33. So we have lost the sunshine. Run away from us momentarily here at the Central Broad Regional Park. Some would say that it is the ideal condition for cricket. Depends on who you talk to. It seems like we're going to have a change of bowling from the southern end. It's going to be the man that wearing the number 14 jersey, Baba. Number 14. So Baba, right time over begins moving from the commentary box and pass umpire. Goes to Jaskan, just going to play it into the cover. And the batsman can get the run. That's 14. 14 jersey. Not too wide, long on. So we're still into the mandatory. Give it a 6 overs. We of course can only have 2 outside of the 30-yard circle. So for Bali now, the deep cover has gone back. Just coming back and just coming forward and just guiding it away down to right third man. It will run away for 4. He was on top of that early, opened the face of the bat, and guided down between the vacant third slip and into the third man down to the 4. So lovely shot there from Timothy Sage batting. So here is Barra from the commentary box end. Timothy is forward in defense, pushing it into the covers. So Timothy now has this one would call this swap about him coming down to meet the bowler, perhaps 3/4 away, coming out of his crease. Whether it's a tactical move by Suraj Ballet, it has been paying off, and it has paid great dividends thus far. Here's Baba now turns, begin to move in from the southern end, approaches umpire Nimhard, delivers wrapped on the pad, is allowed appeal, but not outside the umpire. It was a very confident appeal from Baba, and the signal comes in. Now it's a leg by. One more to the extras. Takes the total now to some 39 without loss. And the Southeast team in great guns. We haven't seen the Centurion at all today. It seems like the skipper has a little bit of injury, so they're calling now for the medical staff to come out into the middle to help the struggling captain, or the injured captain, Jaskaran. So you're not really missing any cricket after winning the toss. Decided to bat first. Southeast there some 39 without loss, and we into the third over. 2.5 overs being bowled. Baba. That's going to throw it into the fence. It's hurting now. He's grimacing out in the middle. The over comes to an end at the end of over number 3 after winning the toss. Decided to bat first. Southeast, they are some 39 without loss. Timothy Suraj Bali is on 23 and Jaskaran is on 15. That's the latest score here from the Central Broad Regional Park. So Timothy Suraj Bali comes back to the pavilion. to heave it into the long on region. Still struggling outside out in the middle. The skipper, of course, Jaskaran. And certainly we'll have to monitor him from here on out. So begin to move in from the end of the over. And at the end of the fourth over, after winning the toss, decided to bat for Southeast. They have 40 for the loss of 1 wicket. They lost the solitary wicket of Timothy Suge Ballet. And without the hard-hitting young Stephen Taylor, June has been brought into the final 11 for the Southeast. So Zishan Qureshi is the man at the striker's end, just making sure that all is well. So for Qureshi now, there's a slip. There's a third man. There's a man at the point of the deep cover. It's a cover. It's a mid-off. There's a back with a square. There's a mid-wicket. As Baba prepares to move in from the commentary box in. Waits on Qureshi now, who settles just about now. In behind it, guiding it away into the short cover region. And the batsman can get no runs. The total remains on some 40 for the loss of 1 wicket. And umpire Danny Khan in the square leg region, and umpire Nimhar behind the stumps. Here is Baba, second over. Beaten outside the line of the off stump. That one had him squaring up in Qureshi. Good delivery there from Baba. Cutting back into the right-handed Qureshi. Didn't know about that too much, if at all. And the total remains on some 40 for the loss of 1 wicket. That of Timothy Suge Bally was brilliantly caught. Flashing outside the line of the off stump and beaten comprehensively. And of course there can be no run. So for the first time this afternoon, let me say pleasant good afternoon to my reliable scorer Victor Charles from Trinidad. Victor Charles, of course, it is indeed a pleasure to be working with you once more. And also let me say pleasant good afternoon to Leon Francis, who is doing a fantastic job in the studio. And you can see this cricket tournament live on www.MAQTV.com. Here is Baba from the commentary box and passes by balls to Qureshi, and Qureshi eases back and just slapped it down towards the deep cover boundary for 4 all along the ground. The signal comes in now from the umpire. So good looking shot there from Zishan Qureshi. Takes the total now to some 44 for the loss of 1 wicket. And Ivor Henry, I hope that you'll be able to join me soon.
Yes.
Just having some technical issues to be ironed out, and certainly need the hands of Ivor Henry to be involved. Here is Baba from the southern end. Pass the umpire now balls to Qureshi. Qureshi gets a lift and delivery, beaten outside the line of the going over the middle stump. So good comeback delivery there from Baba. One that had Qureshi plain and missing as he rehearses the shot now. So the non-striker is Jaskaran, captain, of course. Not doing too well. Well, some leg cramps. Down towards the point region, and the batsman can get no run. The total remains on 44 for 1. The over comes to an end, and at the end of over number 5, after winning the toss, decided to bat first. Southeast, they are 44 for 1.
Well, good start there, and young Qureshi would have played a brilliant, good cricket shot in that over, and they're off on a counter. We just need to apologize to the viewers who are in the park for the Jumbotron scoreboard situated in the park. There seemed to be a little technical difficulty at this time, no fault of our own, but for those who are following streaming live, we just wanted to call a friend, family member, whomever, let them know we're streaming live at MAQTV.com, and that is World Wide Web, MAQTV.com. And if you choose to follow it on the electronic scoreboard, you can go at quickclubs.com, and you can also follow it on Facebook. There are a lot of Facebook followers, and they're putting that on Facebook as well. But back to live action.
Out towards wide mid wicket and into the boundary for 4. So the captain, of course, even though going through some pain, hasn't lit up just at all. Or how they wish that he would be back in the pavilion. And the Southeast, of course, need for him to stay there and score big. Of course, it is 20 over and we're into over number 6. Delivery wide outside the line of the off stump. It is signal and called wide by umpire Danny Khan, the man out of Georgetown, Guyana. And let me say to all those who are listening in Berbice, pleasant good afternoon to you all. I'm just so excited to have you join us on the World Wide Web. Delivery pitch down the leg side, tucks it away down towards the backward of square position. They're gone for a single, and that's all it would be. It brings the other right-hander into strike. Total now goes on to 50. Just waiting on my audience scorer in Victor Charles. 50 it is, so the 50 comes up in the 6 over. 60 for 1, 50 for 1 from the far end. On jiving out towards long on. But cannot get it past the fielder in that position. And of course that's a that ball. So from the again out towards the short position, the over comes to an end. Is it one more delivery left? Seemed like Danny Khan was going towards the square leg position, but it's one more legal delivery left according to my score. 2 more, and that's why I'm so excited to be working with a young man by the name of Victor Charles out of Trinidad and Tobago. Delivery played into the covers. So one more to Qureshi. Takes the total now to some 51 for 1. Just a little bit too fast for us. The far end pass, you have an elbow to Jaskaran, turn it into the mid-wicket position, take off for a single, get it quite easily too, almost take off the helmet of the captain himself, and both looking at each other, captain of the opposing team. So the over comes to an end, and at the end of the over, at the end of it, after winning the toss, decided to bat first. Southeast region 52 for the loss of 1 wicket. Jaskaran is on 21 and Zishon Qureshi is on 5. That's the latest score here at the Central Broad Regional Park.
And it's pleasantly brilliantly lit here with the sun eddy. And there's some clouds in the northern thing, but they're high above. I don't think there's any threat of rain at this time. But for whatever it's worth, we had a good day's play yesterday. We saw some enthralling cricket being played. But plays being held up a little bit here. You're not missing any cricket.
So
as
now
the emergency fielder would have gone on to have a change of mitten there for one of the batters. But again, we are streaming live, coming to you here from the Central Broward Regional Park. And it's situated in the city of Lauderhill, in the county of Broward, in the state of Florida, and in the continent of the USA.
So they're asking that you follow us on Twitter at Cricket Council. And they're asking also that you can join us on Instagram at Cricket Council. So they have all the network tied up and all the social media, so to speak. So there's absolutely no reason or reasons for you not to follow us. In the meantime, we have a bowling change from the southern end. It's going to be Salija. Going to bowl to Jaskaran. First delivery, strict away down towards the long leg region. This will go away for 4. Good looking shot. The delivery pitched down the leg side, and he just helped it down towards the long leg region and into the boundary for 4. So just changing perhaps doing a little bit of a repair to his shoes. So you're not missing any cricket. Total remains on some 56 or 1. And we're live at the Central Broad Regional Park. Salija moves in. Right arm over the wicket to bowl to Jaskaran. Jaskaran gets a delivery, just stretching forward, pushed into the covers. And again, the batsman can get no run. So the solitary wicket to have gone back is that of Timothy Suj Ballet. Was brilliantly caught.
They have to get your coffee back.
No, it's okay.
Because they turn it into the fine leg region. About the leading edge. Find his way into the mid-on position. And of course, the batsman can get no run. So the total remain on some 56 for 1. Back along the track for the bowler to field. And again, there can be no run. So for Jaskaran, there's a cover. Deep cover is a long off. It's a third man. Tapped it away into the wide long off and cover region and into the boundary board for 4. Good looking shot. The outfield is very fast. So once it get through the cover, there was absolutely no chance for the man from the long off position going around to his left to cut it off, and he beats him convincingly into the boundary board for 4. So 4 more to Jaskaran, 4 more to the total. It takes the total now to some 60 for 1. Jaskaran goes on to 29. Qureshi, he's on 5. Coming around towards the region. And just got there in time. So the over comes to an end at the end of the over. After winning the toss, decided to bat first. SouthEast 61 for 1. That's the latest score here at the Central Broad Regional Park.
Just good going there by the fielding team. They came back very good. Timmy Silbowie, he took off and he went on a canter, taking the first delivery for well driven down the ground 4. And then he would have gone in the same direction, well, but he got good result, 4. And then the third delivery, he went inside out over extra cover for a good looking 6, first of the match. But since his departure, things would have slowed down some.
But nonetheless, it's a 20-20 over encounter. And we're going to be seeing a bowling change from the northern end.
It's going to be Nanjam. Najam, the lefty. He'll be bowling to the Sean Qureshi. Settles into his stance. Tosses up. Push it into the gully region. And the batsman can get no run. So there is no slip. There's a short third man cover. It's a cover. Man deep. The long off and the long on. Out towards long off. Just a single. And as I've alluded to early on, since the departure of Sewage Valley, the run rate seems to have dropped just a little bit. But as long as Jaskaran is out there, I'm pretty much sure that he'll be able to take things into his own hands and steer the ship to safety, so to speak. Delivery outside the line of the off stump. It is signal wide by umpire Danny Khan. So umpire reverses the signal. Might have touched the left pad of Qureshi. So that's a dat ball. Here is Nanjam on his way now, left arm ball to Qureshi. Qureshi is forward, back and then forward.
What's that?
And he's run out. Look at that. He was down the track in a hurry. Didn't realize that the man at the mid-wicket position was coming onto the ball faster than he might have anticipated. Jaskaran stood his ground, and Sean Qureshi goes by the run-out route. Ivor Henry.
Yes, it takes two batters to run 1-1. The non-striker did not respond, so Sean Qureshi virtually ran himself out there. We have to call a spade a spade. He called for single, but the ball was struck straight to the fielder, just a little to his right. But Sean kept running, and he got himself into no man's land. And the end result is that he was run out. He was not even in the frame. So hard luck for the young man. So wicket number 2 goes down via the run-out route. Once again, the Southeast, they're trying to set a target. And since the departure of Tim, things seem to have slowed some, but the skipper is there, and we had quite an interesting interview with him yesterday. And seemed to have a good head on his shoulders. He actually wants to take his cricket to higher heights, so we are wishing him all the best in his endeavor. He loves South Florida. He loves what's happening here in South Florida. He enjoys batting on the wicket, and we just have to say the wicket itself is playing brilliantly. It's good for stroke play. There's something in it for everyone. But new batsman, lefty, southpaw, and Eddie Edwards will tell you.
So the new batsman is Lesman, the experienced Lesman, who would have played in the now defunct Sanford T20 tournament in the Caribbean, to be more specific in Antigua. Played a number of games for the US Virgin Islands. So takes his guard now, settles. Nanjam on his way. Lesman is driving down towards wide long off. And immediately he's off the mark. So that takes the total now to some 62. 62 it is for a loss of 2 wickets. We have seen the unfortunate run out of Qureshi. Here's Nanjam on his way now to bowl to Jaskaran. Jaskaran is just going across and just punching it down towards wide. Long off. The over comes to an end. The end of the over. It is now some 64, sorry, for the loss of some 2 wickets, Ivor.
Yes, it's nice tidy over there being bowled there. Just 2 runs coming from it. Remember, we are playing a 20-20 over, and runs seem to be the making of the 20-20 when it came into existence. Most of the rules, playing conditions are tilted in favor of the batters. But there's a new striker at the wicket. He has joined the skipper. And again, they're trying to set a target. Yesterday they were chasing, and they chased well when they tied the score at 216 in a one chase. And there was a super over in which they would have won it easily. When they batted first, they scored some 13 runs, and they were able to defend it when the opponent needed some 4 runs off the last delivery, and they were not able to do that. Play's been held up somewhat here, and the camera is right on the umpire as he's in consultation with someone, and he's now coming off the field, and he's running towards the players' pavilion or the locker room.
Seems like we're having a problem with the ball, perhaps.
The problem with the ball. They need a replacement ball. Okay, the used balls are...
Yo. What? Come back right. I want you to come here very slowly. When I
So you're not really missing any cricket. Early on, the umpire had to make his way off the field to replace the ball. Had a problem with the ball. So now that all is well, that's been rectified. So there's a cover, an extra cover.
Yeah, we're just highlighting the stadium here at this time. It's a beautiful stadium. They're panning the cameras around here, and there are a few empty seats, but we're just giving you a view of it until we get back to live action. And you can see beautiful sky, blue with some clouds hovering, but it's back to live cricket.
Played into the cover, and the batsman can get no run. So the total remains on some 64 for 2. So Jaskaran remains on 32, and Lesmond is on 1. Jaskaran is the man on strike as we watch Saluja from the far end. Passes the umpire now, bowls to Jaskaran. Jaskaran is driving back past the bowler, push the left foot out. Might have cut it off just a little bit. The man from the deep long off position comes around. He picks up, but cannot prevent the batsman from getting a single. So one more it is to Jaskaran. One more to the total. 65 it is now for the loss of some 2 wickets.
Yeah, signs of aggression there by the skipper. And I'm not too certain that the bowler was really making an attempt to stop that one with his boot, Eddie, because I don't think you replace ankles anymore.
Well,
Do you mend, I know you mend fences, do you mend broken ankles?
if you can mend the broken hearts, I'm pretty much sure that you'll be able to mend the broken ankles. Here is Salija on the fire and passing up, and now balls to Lesman, and Lesman for this delivery is looking to turn it into the onside. The ball just made a little bit more height than he might have anticipated, and had him cramped for room there, Ivor.
Yeah, that one was definitely going over the top. It was making some height. Like you said, it's a good wicket, and it has a good even bounce. But the bowler may have shown some disappointment there. But from our advantage point, that ball was clearly going over the top.
Salija on his way, right arm over. Balls to Lesman. Lesman guided away down to White's third man. Will this run away for 4? The fielder comes from the deep point position, give chase, and the batsmen were able to come back for run number 2. So good bit of cricket there from the man running from all the way at the deep point position. Lesman in the meantime, Ivor Henry came back for run number 2. Good running between the two.
Yeah, good cricket shot there. There's no one in the vicinity of between the keeper and point, so he just ran it off the face of the bat, and they scampered 2 for 2 lovely ones.
Lot of full toss played out into the covers. The man coming across is Nanjam, knocks it down, and of course the batsman can get no run. So Jaskaran is on 33, Lesman is on 3, and we're into the 9th over. Down towards point. The over comes to an end. And at the end of the 9th over, winning the toss, Southeast some 67 for 2. Jaskaran is on 33. Lesman is on 3. That's the latest score here at the Central Broad Regional Park.
Yeah, and the 60s has not been very, very kind to the Southeast. They've been in the 60s for quite a bit of time there, Eddie. Seemed like decades since we've been hearing the 60s. But the 2 batsmen are trying to settle in. I'm not too sure if I can say it's early days yet, but they've got to get the wheels turning if they've got to set a target, because we would have seen some 216 runs being overhauled here yesterday. And it made for good showing. And the wicket, I have to again give it to the creators.
So, Nanjam to continue. Wide outside line of the off, and just slapped it away down towards the wide long off position.
There doesn't seem to be any urgency in the running. I know it was just one, but they just ambled there, and maybe it's early in the morning. Should it be Saturday morning, happy Sabbath, and they should be in church worshipping?
Well, here's Nanjam. He will let you know. To be wide outside the line of the off stump. Lesman was back in the way, looking to give himself room to slap it down towards the point gully region. Didn't make contact. And the total remains on some 67. Delivery outside the line of the off stump. So wide delivery, signal and call by the umpire. So we into the 10th over. So it is 68 to it's on the board. That's the way down towards the gully region.
And again, there's no urgency in the batting, Eddie. There's no aggression. It's still a limited 20-20 over. I don't know if it's early in the afternoon, but sooner or later they're going to have to get the wheels turning here.
Slapped it between cover and long off.
Aggression.
Talking about aggression, Lesman has gotten aggressive. Hit that one with lots of authority. And ferociousness is the order of the day for young Lesman. goes up now to 73. It is for the loss of some 2 wickets. Lesman goes up to 7. Jaskaran is on 34. 9.4 overs gone. 73. It is for 2.
So they're finally out of the 60s, Eddie, and we're into the 70s. So let's see how long they would be in the 70s. But there were some signs of aggression there. Lovely shot.
Between the point and gully, and this will run away into the boundary board for 4. Just coming across is Lesman with his experience. He just dabbed it between the point and the gully region, and it went into the boundary board for 4, Ivor.
Yeah, I guess just what the doctor ordered. They're getting the wheels are turning and trying to set a target here, which they're going to be trying to defend. So the Southeast, they've won the toss, elected to bat, and they would have lost some 2 wickets earlier. So for those of you who are on screen and are following, we're coming to you live from Central Broad Regional Park.
Nanjam to Lesman. Lesman is pulling it from outside the line of the off stump out towards the wide long on. And the man was some 3/4 away on the boundary, was able to come off the boundary and rivals are returning, but wasn't able to prevent the batters from getting a single. So the total now goes up by 1 to 78. It is for the loss of 2 wickets. And Lesman is on 12. And Jaskaran is on 37. That is the latest score here at the Lauderhill, at the Central Broad Regional Park in the city of Lauderhill.
Yes, indeed. And the sun is in all its glory. And then if you look at the far northwest, you can see, is that a hawk flying way above in the skies? Oh, my goodness. It's circling. How could they live flying so high above the earth? But whatever it's worth, it's nature. Here again we have some clouds hovering around, but no immediate threat of rain. And we want to welcome you listeners and viewers, welcome you to Florida. Make it your next vacation spot.
Lesman push that into the offside and take off for a quick single. We can get it quite easily too. It's a good run between these two thus far. Lesman and Jaskaran. Lesman goes up by 1 to 13. It is 79 for the loss of some 2 wickets. So Jaskaran settles into his stance. So with the arrival of Saluja from the far end. Low full toss, swings it away out towards long arm and mid wicket and into the boundary board for 4. 1 bounce into the boundary board for 4, Ivor.
Yes, signs of aggression. Even with the running, the previous delivery, there was some aggression in the running, and now they seem as if they're getting the wheels are turning. And the skipper has joined the party. He has joined Lesman in the boundary column, and it bodes well for his team. So, did we get out of the 70s, Eddie?
We are some 83. Lesman is on 13, and Jaskaran, the skipper, is on some 38. From some 28 delivery. Lesman is on 13 from 11 deliveries. So good bit of batting between these two. Here is Saluja from the far end. Passes the umpire now. Bows to Jaskaran. And Jaskaran is pushing it into the long on position. Pulls the man off the boundary. He picks up, but cannot prevent the batsman from getting a single. So 1 more to the aggressive and hard hitting Jaskaran. He goes up now to some 39, according to my score. And the score now is some 84 for 2. 84 for 2. He is on 39. Turns it around the corner to the short mid-wicket position. Gets a single. So Lesman so far has been paying great dividend for the Southeast team and paying the good anchor role for the captain himself, Ivor.
Yes, Lesman is the southpaw left-hander in the manner of Sir Garfield Sobers, Clive Lloyd, Kalishuan, Brian Lara.
I've heard you call the late great Roy Fedgix one of the best players to have played the game, the best hooker.
I was getting to him, Eddie, but you didn't let me get there. But since you would have said him, you forgot Larry Gomes out of Trinidad and Tobago, the man who never batted with a helmet, he never even to bat with a cap. He was headless. That was one brave soldier.
That's how they do it in Trinidad and Tobago. And let me say a pleasant good afternoon to my friends up in the Twin Islands Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, up in Royal Road. That's what they say. And if I say anything wrong about Trinidad and Tobago, I'm sure I will be chastised by Victor Charles, Ivor Henry.
Yes, well, I can see Victor with a big smile on his face every time we talk about Trinidad and Tobago. But let me say it here and now for the world to hear. Trinidad Gifts to the World is the steel band. Believe it or not. That oil drum, they took an oil drum. Winston Spree decided we're going to make music out of an oil drum. And they gave it to the world, and everybody is now capitalizing on it. But we have to remember Trinidad and Tobago for the steel drum.
And how about the 76 Olympics with Hazel Crawford, though? Remember that? When he beat the field by about a mile and a half?
Yeah, that was a very good year, 1976. Everything was good in 1976. Maestro had an album out of this world. Shortshot had the Tourist Lego album out of this world. And we remember we're going down San Fernando by Calypso Rose, man, I'm telling you.
So we're going to have a used ball for the next over. Certainly the ball is being ponged around, so to speak, by Jaskaran and Lesman. So we have a new bowler in operation from the northern end. Stands up onto the back foot and just tugs it up towards long on. It's a single, so one to Jaskaran. He goes on to 40. The score now is some 87. 87 for 2. And brings the left-hander Lesmond into strike. So while in Trinidad, Ivor, certainly they had a great leader. The late, great Dr. Eric Williams. Let his soul rest, continue to rest in perpetual peace.
Well, that's when we were federated back in the Caribbean, when we had the Errol Barrows and the Burnhams.
And the V. Cornwall Bird out of Antigua.
And this Robert Bratcher out of
Indeed.
St. Kitts and Nevis.
And they bought the
Eric Gary out of Grenada.
how about Forbes Burnham out of Guyana?
Yes, indeed.
So a host of ex-leaders who would have passed away and let their soul continue to rest in eternal peace.
Well, we're not going to forget Siaga out of Jamaica.
Who could? Looking to give himself room. Beaten outside the line of the off stump. It's a good delivery. And Lesman now rehearses the shot. Perhaps that's what he wanted to do in the first instance. On his way now to bowl to Lesman. And Lesman gets a delivery, slapped it down towards cover. Just to the left of the square leg umpire. The man coming off the deep cover boundary picks up. And the batsman ambles through for a quick single. So one more to Lesman.
Yeah, well, the umpire, he is standing in the offside. His usual position would be in the left side, but for the left-hander, he chose not to change over, but it's all good. You just have to inform the batsman.
Coming down the track is the captain. He goes hard and high. This will go over the fence for 6. So Jaskaran, not in any no-nonsense mood at all. Ivor Henry, early on we seen him bogged down there by a little injury, but certainly seems like he has overcome that injury. He's gone high, hard, and deep.
Yes, and I think it's one of the biggest 6 of the tournament, but by far and away the biggest one for the day. And he's now into the 40s himself, and he's trying to make hay while the sun shines.
So he settles now. See the way down towards the long leg region. Man from the backward of square giving chase. They're going to come back for run number 2. And they're going to get it quite easily too as the return comes in. Not a very bad return. One bounce into the gloves of the keeper. Gets a little round of applause. The over comes to an end. And at the end of the over, and at the end of it, after winning the toss, decided to bat first. Southeast. Just waiting on the electric monitor here. My score to be updated.
Well, and like we said, there's some signs of aggression, and they've changed the ball now. Would it be the second one, Eddie, in the match? So, and the umpire is showing the ball again to the third umpire, and there's something seemed to be going on with the the balls. Yesterday we did not have a change of ball, but for some strange reason, the balls are having to be changed frequently. So, do we see anyone going out with a pack of replacement balls? I am not too sure yet, but in the meantime, the players are refreshing themselves. It's a lovely Saturday morning here, so we have just about halfway mark with 10 overs being bowled already. It's a 20-20 over encounter, and we're streaming live on MAQTV.com. The umpires are holding the balls aloft and they're asking for a replacement ball. So the person who is in charge of the balls, could they just proceed to the playing area with a few replacement balls? We're going to have to keep some balls here by the official score. But I'm going to check and see if thing. Okay, so the ball is going to be on its way. The ball is going to be on its way. I'm going to be asking Milton Taylor to make his way up to the commentator's booth for a second. Mr. Milton Taylor, if you're in the ground and you're within the hearing of my voice. Oh, I think I can see him.
So after the break, now we're into over number 13, being bowled by Leisure from the Southern End. On 96 it is for 2. Lesmond is on 15 and Jaskaran is on 49. Southeast winning the toss. It's bat first. Towards the mid-wicket region. Gets a single. Brings Jascaran into strike. Into the cover region. And the batsman can get no run. 96 it remains. 97, sorry. Remain. For the loss of some 2 wickets and we into the 13th over. Guides it away down towards point. Take off for a quick single. Lesman is home. And of course Jascaran, that's his 50. So well played 50 for Jascaran, the captain of the Southeast team. Well played skipper. Well played young man.
Yes, and he raises his bat in acknowledgement of his 50. He's leading from the front, skipper. And we would have seen 2 centuries already been scored. And yesterday, my word, Eddie, there was a 34-run over on the neighboring field over there. 5 sixes and a 4. And the boundary was even in question. So we almost had all 6 sixes in the match.
Here's Saluja. Turns it into the region. Gonna be some question here.
Lesmo, he was guilty of ball watching there. The skipper called him. It was the skipper's call, and he was posing for the camera there, so he was a little late in getting in, but it was not a good throw, but I'm sure that he would work that out with the skipper. He would have called him. He would have seen the run was on, but for some reason he was standing on his post, but he made good his ground in the end.
Swings it away out towards mid-wicket. This will go over the fence for 6. Good looking shot from the skipper himself. Has got to go. Keep on keeping on, Ivor Henry.
Yes, and I was mentioning that there's 2 Centurions already in this game, but we just want the folks to know that the best batsman would receive some $1,500. The second batter, $1,000. The best wicket keeper, $1,000. And the best fielder would be another $1,000. Then we'll have the best.
The best of the best.
Yes, the best bowler. He too will get. I was just looking at the youngster here, just running on the field here, and that seemed to be Adam. I think that's young Adam. Yes, doing duty for the Southeast team there. So I had to stop for that. The young lad you would have seen on TV there, captured by the cameraman there, was the young Adam, some 11 years old, and he is part of the squad for the Southeast. But I was saying that so the bowlers now, they're in on the fray as well. So the best bowler would be receiving $1,500, and the second best bowler, $1,000. And best fielder, yes, I would have said that, and keeper, they too will be in on the cash prize. There's no cash prize for the team winning, but they're playing for glory, and they'll be lifting a trophy. And we want you to know that they're free adjudicators around the grounds, and they're looking at the matches. And as Lawrence Rowe would have said yesterday, that the players are making it hard for them to judge, because at the end of today's game, they will be picking 2 teams, the team to play against Canada.
So it's a new bowler, Hassan Khan. Will be outside line of the awesome. Pulled away out towards wide long R. So Lesman playing much of the anchor role, so to speak. Ever so often he would have gotten into the attacking mode. But why not let the skipper, who has the hatters of both hands, to go on with his aggressions. 106 for 2. Here is Kana. One is went out to ball 2 and pulls it out towards mid wicket. Finds the man in the way and cannot get it past the fielder at the mid wicket position. Can again. This time it's bound towards backward square. This will go for 4. The man was deep and made a valiant effort coming around to his right, but wasn't able to get there in time. So 4 more to Jaskaran, 4 more to the total. Jaskaran now goes up to 60. Lesmond is on 18, so 110 for 2, and we have some 13.3 overs completed, Ivor.
Yes, so like we said, they are putting the wheels on, and the skipper is leading from the front. This time he pulled out the boom and he went sweeping, Eddie, and he swept well, swept clean, and he was justly rewarded with a boundary.
Sometimes you have to leave the sweeping for the grounds official. Here is Khan on his way now to bowl to Jaskaran, and Jaskaran is going hard and high, out of the grounds, lovely shot. A delivery that was pitched just about middle stump, going back into the right hand. They came across and just swinged it away out towards mid wicket and over the fence for 6.
Yeah, lovely cricket shot, lovely cricket shot. And we looked at everyone with their heads in the air, wondering when would that ball come down. It went a long way out of the ground. It's a pity that you will only get 6, even though the ball would have gone some 30 meters beyond the 65-yard boundary, Eddie.
Indeed, here is Khan now on his way now to bowl to Jaskaran, and Jaskaran is gone again. Even further. So he's a regular out in the wide and deep mid-wicket boundary, Ivor, and at the rate he is going, he seems like he wants to score a century.
Yes, still a long way to go, but he's taking a liking to the off-spinner, coming in there, bowling his loopies, and he's going in the direction of mid-wicket and the cow corner, and he's making good contact, and he's going all the way, no doubt.
He goes up to 72. Here is Khan now on his way now to bowl to Jaskaran. Jaskaran gets a little wrist, slapped it back past the bowler, but breaking the stump there. So luckily for Lesmond, he was in his crease. Ivor Henry, sometimes that can cause a bit of a bother for the non-strikers. The over comes to an end at the end of the over, and at the end of it, it is 122 for the loss of 2 wickets. Jaskaran is on 72. Lesmond is on 18. That is the latest score here at the Central Broad Regional Park.
Some 17 runs coming from that over, so they're cashing in as they're coming to the 13 overs will have been bowled. So we have another 14 has been bowled in the bank, so we have 6 more to go. And the young man, he played a lovely straight drive, and I can say he should have been rewarded something for that, because the bowler had no chance to stop it, but it crashed into the stump and prevented him, I would say, yet another boundary, because it was too straight, but it was a good shot, and he's looking good. Seemed to be a man in form. He's sporting some bright red pads here today. Lesmond with the blue pads, in a very good partnership here.
Barber to pick up the attack from the southern end. Pass your pan out both to Lesmond, and Lesmond is beaten outside the line of the off stump. Looking to slap it down towards cover. Didn't make contact. As he rehearses the shot, Ivor, you think that had he made contact, he would have gone through to the covers?
Well, once you would have get past the man stationed at the point region, keeping company with the umpire in the offside, I think the man on the squarish cover boundary would not have had a chance, and the third man, he would have been out of play.
Here is Baba. Right arm over the wicket to bowl to the left-hander. There's Lesmond, and Lesmond is beaten outside the line of the off-stump. So that delivery there from Baba, not only did it dip on Lesmond, it moved away just a little bit, enough from the batter, and that goes through to the wicketkeeper, and he collected cleanly. So good bit of bowling here from Baba, Ivor.
Yes, but I think that Lesmond should try to play his natural game. He seems as if he's trying to get the skipper on strike, but the team comes first, because he's playing with soft hands when he should be going crashing.
That's the way out into cover. Going to get a single here, as Lesmond now comes at the non-striker's end. So Lesmond, of course, continues, Ivor, to play a good role. And Baba and Jaskaran is on strike. Seen him in the last over there. Had some mammoth 6s. Let's see if he'll be able to pick up from where he left off. And he's bowling! Going across, looking to pull it down toward the back of the square or mid-wicket region. The ball made a little bit more height than he might have anticipated. And in the end, the bell's been disturbed, and all you hear was that and see was the ball crashing into the lumber behind the skipper. He goes for 72. Well bowled there by Baba some sort of a vengeance type of bowling there from Baba Ivor.
Yes, and he played all around that one. He was trying to pull it into the deep mid-wicket area, but he missed. And you know the saying, you miss, I hit. So he played a good innings, and his contribution, he led from the front, and his contribution 72, and fell some 28 runs short if you were thinking about 100. But he gets an appreciative round of applause from his teammate as he makes his way into the pavilion. So well played, skipper. And the cameraman is following him all the way into the dugout. And sure, he would have left instructions with the incoming batsman to carry on smartly. Lesman, who has been there, is showing some signs of aggression in the last run that he would have made. The two prior deliveries, he was trying to touch to get the skipper on strike. But now Lesman, who's been there, I think he's going to pick up the ante as the overs are coming near an end. So the new batsman is in. We'll tell you who he is in a minute.
So it is Sunil Kumar. Takes the guard from umpire Nemhard. Awaits the arrival of Baba. Baba now bowling with his tail up. A delivery wide outside the line of the leg stump. It is signal and called wide by the umpire. So one more to the extras. Total now goes up to 123. 124 now. 124 for the loss of some 3 wickets.
Naughty, naughty, naughty. You're just having taken the prize wicket of the skipper, and you find yourself bowling straight down the leg side. And I think he's running in. He's quite pacey. He's quite lively in his run-up. Good wicket for cricket.
Here's he now on his way. Swings it away down towards the deep back of the square region. And the batsman came for a single. So Lesman it is who is going to be on strike. The left-hander Lesman. And the field changing over for the lefties. 125 for 3. And let's see whether or not the run rate drops either since the departure of the skipper himself, Jaskaran. We just have to wait and see. 125 for 3. Lesman is on 19. Faces up to Baba now. Right arm over the wicket to bowl to the left-hander Lesman. Lesman gets a little beat outside the line of the off stump, drifting away from the left-hander. Good bit of bowling, smart bowling. The over comes to an end. The end of a very successful over from Baba. Got the prized wicket of Jaskaran. The 125 for the loss of some 3 wickets. 15 overs gone.
Yes, and Lesman guilty of having his feet anchored and cemented and rooted in the crease. That ball was outside the off stump, and he just had a whack at it. But he should have moved across with his feet, and I'm sure he would have caught up with it one way or the other. But we have to give the bowler credit. He stayed within the marking. And a dot goes into the book. And Eddie, we are wondering if the scoring rate is going to be dropped. But so far, we have just realized 1-1 from some 2 deliveries since the departure of the skipper.
So we just waiting on the bowler from the far end to open his account. And he'll be bowling to Kumar. Guides it away down towards point. Knocks it down by number 7.
So another single to the new batsman, who takes his tally up to 2. So they're doing it in singles, whereas the skipper was doing it in boundaries. But the platform has been set, 126 I think it is now.
So we watch now as Pasu Paluti begins to move in, bowling to the left-hander Lesman. Lesman coming down the track and the beat outside line of the off stump. I don't know where Lesman was going. Perhaps he might have booked a flight to go to maybe the U.S. Virgin Islands, Ivor, or maybe even Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, the wicketkeeper was thinking about going up, but he says it's better I stand back since there's no slip.
Passer Peluti on his way out to bowl to Lesman. Lesman gets a delivery, looking to swing it down towards the back of the square position. The ball came off the outer portion of the bat and also made some contact with the pad. So, and end up getting a single. So one more to Lesman. Doesn't matter which way you turn it. One more to the total. Lesman goes on now to 25 from some 20. Let me say that again. Lesman is on 20 from some 25 deliveries. And Kumar is on 2. Here is he now on his way now to bowl to Kumar. Swings it away out into the onside. And did the umpire signal no ball? Yes, indeed he did. So it's a free hit. Too many men out of the circle, Ivor.
Yeah, just 3 men in the circle. They required another one. So the man from the deep backwards square leg is now going inside that 30-yard circle. So it's a free hit.
Passer Peluti begins to move in. Passes the umpire now. Ball to Kumar. Kumar plays into covers. Catch is taken, but of course he cannot be out unless he is run out. So that's the advantage that the batter has, Ivor, when there's a free hit originated from a no ball.
Yeah, but I don't think he did enough with that. That was a slower one, loopy, and he probably took his eyes off it, and he could go no more than about 15 meters from the wicket. In the meantime, the batsman would have crossed for 1, so they did not cash in on that infringement.
Passer Peluti on his way out to bowl to Lesman. Lesman going to turn it into the fine leg region. Ball coming off the outer portion of the inner portion of the bat, find his way down towards short fine leg, and the batsman gets a single. So one more to Lesman, one more to the total. Lesman goes on now to 21 from some 27 deliveries, and the total now is 129 for 3. So we into over number 16. Inside out, and the batsman gets a single. So one more to the total. One more it is now at the end of the 16th over after winning the toss. Decided the bat. Southeast region, Ivor. It's 129 for a loss of 3 wickets. That's the latest score here from the Central Broward Regional Park.
Well, I can tell you they are planting a lot of poles, Eddie. There one that's going up into the ground, one, and I'm sure that the camp is saying they need a bit of wire, some fence to go around those poles. So fence in this regard means boundaries to put around those poles. But we have to give credit to the fielding team. They have kept things in check since the departure of the skipper. He would have gone for a well-played 72, and he hit some 4 or 5 sixes, and they were huge sixes. And again, the sun is out in all its glory. You see shadows lengthening here with the cricketers as the field changes over for the right-hander, as the 17th over is about to be bowled from the southern end. And we are asking everyone in the vicinity of Sunrise West and the 441 to come on out and get into the park. It's $3.99 to get into the park, but you pay $1.50 to get through the turnstile.
Seems like we have a change of bowling from the commentary box. And Motion gets his first wicket, is he? Yes, his first delivery being pulled away out in towards the deep mid-wicket region, and Kumar comes back to the pavilion. Not a very happy camper. Should have done a lot more with that. So good bit of bowling there from Talham Motion. And the Southeast region now using their 4th wicket. That of Kumar caught in the deep. It's 130 for the loss of 4, Ivor Henry.
Well, he should have done more with that delivery. That was a ranking long hop that he just picked out the man in the deep who had to just take some 4 or 5 paces in, stood there comfortably and lapped it. Good cricket catch, but once again, at this juncture, they should be looking to get the balls over the fence or into the fence. But this time he can do no more but to place the ball in the safe hands of the fielder, placed on the mid-wicket boundary. So the new batsman, sporting the number 6 on his jersey, makes his way out to the middle. Patel, he's going to be joining Lesman, who has been there for quite some time, and he has played and missed a few times, but he was in a good, healthy partnership with his skipper. But since the departure of the skipper, we'd have seen another wicket go down. But the overs are winding down. Some 16.1 overs would have been bowled. So it's a 20-20 over encounter. And I think they're going to be needing a finisher if they're going to get anywhere close to 170, 175.
So the batsman did cross, so Lesman is on strike. Motion now to the left-hander Lesman. Lesman giving himself some room. Looking to slap it down towards backward point. Didn't make contact. The ball going through to the wicketkeeper, and he gets a round of applause there, Ivor Henry. So good bit of bowling there from Motion.
Yes, again, since the departure of the skipper, the fielding team seemed to have put a little pep in their step. And now you have got to play all of the game. The game does not play in the middle and not in the end. He has got to play to the end. So they're coming back and they're finishing well.
So Motion now on his way, passes the umpire just about now. Ball to Lesman. Lesman pull it away down towards the mid-wicket region and over the fence for 6. The signal comes in now from umpire named Hart. Good looking shot there from Lesman Ivors. All of a sudden, Lesman seems to have gone haywire. He has gone crazy, and he is the man with the hard hands.
Well, I can say it was not a bad delivery, but Lesman, he's been there for quite some time, and he picked it up and trusted the bounce of the wicket, which is a good turf, and he just swiveled and hoisted that one over the deep mid-wicket boundary. The man stationed there had not a chance, but only to retrieve beyond the boundary.
So Motion guilty of pitching there that time. Here is he now begins to move in from the southern end past the umpire now ball to Lesman, and Lesman is driving just out towards long off, and the fielder comes off the boundary. He picks up but cannot prevent the batsman from getting a single. So Lesman, with all that driving, Ivor, driving without a license and certainly with some sort of caution.
Well, he's playing with a lot of confidence. That was a good looking shot. It was all along the ground, but he was not able to beat the man at the long off position. So good fielding, nonetheless, good cricket all around. So the new batter comes into strike, Patel.
Settles now, begin await the arrival of Motion, going across and beaten outside the line of the off stump, playing across the body to a delivery that was outside the line of the off stump. Very uncharacteristic of Patel, the Ivor.
Yeah, that's good bowling, good thinking. The bowler took a little pace off that one, and by the time he would have swung, the ball was not there yet, and it was outside the off stump, keeping a tad bit low, but he should have been better advised punching it to the offside or getting Lesman on strike.
So here is Motion now from the southern end pass. The umpire bowls to Patel. Patel is racking back and playing out towards long on. The signal, it's a
signal for the end of the over comes in.
The signal for the end of the over coming. Thank you very much, the Ivor Henry. Sometimes you can get caught up there with all sorts of movements going on to the field. In any event, it is 138 for 4, 17 overs completed. Lesman is on 27, Patel is on 1. That is the latest score here.
Yes, and earlier you would have seen a bright big red top over there. That's a portion of the park. There's lots of activities. That's a picnic area that was being shown just a while ago on the TV screen. So it's a park where you can come on in and picnic. It's quite a big park. It's upgraded, and we have a cricket facility which is approved by the ICC, the only one in North America, I may add. And the MAQTV Cricket Council USA are making full use of this ground because they would have tied it up for the whole of the rest of the year and into next year. But we're going to be having some activities after this tournament. We'll tell you about it a little later.
Possible continues from the northern end pass. By now, both Patel. Patel is playing out towards long on, and the batsman can only get a single. So the total goes up now by 1 to 139 for 4, and we are into the 18th over, being bowled by Pasupuluti. And now the field changes over for the left-hander Lesman.
Yeah, Patel seemed to be favouring the onside. He had been taking the ball from outside the off stump and getting his singles in the onside.
So Pasupuluti from the northern end pass, umpire Khan. And this time Lesman is driving up towards long on, up to mid-half, really. And the batsman gets a single. So one more to Lesman, one more to the total. And Lesman is looking at his bat there now, Ivor Henry. Perhaps the bottom of the bat might have shattered just a little bit. Lesman goes up to some 28 according to my scorer. And the total now is some 140 for the loss of some 4. So trouble here, but the ball going back to the wrong end. It should have gone to the non-strikers end, and it would have been mayhem for the hard-hitting Lesman. But in the end, both batters were in their creases, and how they did that, one still trying to realize it, but at the end of it, it is all good all along the ground. Good cricket, good support. Saluti now on his way out to bowl to Kumar for this delivery. Patel, sorry, looking to pull it into the mid-wicket position. Didn't make contact. And the ball going through to the wicketkeeper. So the wicketkeeper, of course, trying some tricks here. Don't know how long he will be able to continue. And we're into the 18th over. Pasu being bowled by Pasu Paluti. Against a move in from the northern end pass. Umpire Danny Khan now. So it gets away down towards the back of the square. It goes for 6. The signal comes in from umpire Danny Khan. So 6 to Patel. 6 it is. And lovely shot there from Patel.